Councillors, we might make a start. Colleagues, can I take a moment to welcome you to the Environment Community Committee meeting of Toowoomba Regional Council. This meeting is open to the public. Thank you for all those packing into the public gallery for today. We are also live streamed and our live stream is working now very well. Thank you to those who are in the room with us today, CEO, General Manager, Hugh, media team, other council staff, and of course our council comms team. Thank you for being here. Councillors, if you haven't already, could I please remind you to click Join Meeting in Board View. We open the meeting at about 7 minutes past 11. We'll move to item 2, which is attendance, including apologies, leave of absence, declarations of conflict of interest. Colleagues, it looks like we have a full house, meaning there is no attendance motions necessary. I will move to declarations of conflict of interest, noting attachment 1 in the leases that we are going to discuss in confidential does contain a list of all those names. So, colleagues, that's in confidential, but are there any conflicts of interest, prescribed or declarable, concerning the lease renewals today? Councillor Rebecca.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Chair. So just in regard to that item number 4, attachment number 1 is not confidential, and I wanted to raise this with colleagues. So in the past, I've declared a declarable conflict of interest in relation to the aerodrome because family members hold leases at the aerodrome. Now, in that list of involved parties, there are no family members listed, but there are some aerodrome leasees who are included in that list. So I flag that's the situation, and up to the comfort of my councillor colleagues, I wish to stay in the room for the conversation because my declarable conflict of interest relates purely to my family members who hold leases, and those people are not listed in this matter here today. But over to you and my colleagues, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Rebecca. So my reading of what you're saying is the lease that we're discussing is completely separate to the lease that your family members are involved with at the aerodrome, and you'd like the chamber to decide should you have a conflict of interest. Councillors, is there any questions or comments for the Deputy Mayor? Mayor McDonald?
Not really any questions, Chair. However, I would suggest that given Councillor Rebecca has rightfully declared this in the past and chosen to leave, that was a more broader period of time when a related party or relation or friend would have been captured within that. This is quite specific around leases for particular sites, and therefore it does separate that conflict of interest or declarable conflict of interest that was previously stated. So therefore, it's my opinion, and I'm happy to move that Councillor Rebecca can stay in the room, participate and vote on the matter.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. Is there a seconder for that motion? Councillor Rebecca can stay in. Councillor Carroll, any debate? All those in favour? That's passed without dissent. Thank you, Councillor Rebecca. Are there any other declarable or prescribed conflicts of interest? Councillor Gary?
I think my circumstances would be the same.
So you're saying, I'll reiterate Councillor Rebecca's point, that you have involvements at the aerodrome, but we're talking about specific leases that you're not involved in today.
Yep.
And you'd like your colleagues to test the room on whether you can stay.
Yep.
Are there any questions or comments? Mayor McDonald.
Thanks, Chair. The reasons are the same as Councillor Rebecca. We're talking specific leases in this instance and doesn't include Councillor Gardner's interests. So therefore, I'm happy to move that Councillor Gardner can stay in the room, participate in the matter, including by voting on the matter.
Moved by Mayor McDonald, seconded again by Councillor Carroll. Colleagues, any need to go into debate on that? All those in favour? Has passed without dissent. Colleagues, are there any other conflicts of interest for today's meeting that you'd like to be brought up? Noting we will have to move out of confidential should they arise in the item. We'll move then to item 3, colleagues. There is one item on today's agenda which is in confidential. Item 3 is that we move into confidential. The meeting be closed to the public in accordance with section 254J3 of the local government agenda. I will read the reason. The report and attachment contain information that will impact council's budget and involves negotiations relating to commercial matters involving the local government for which the public decision would likely to prejudice the interests of local government. The sensitive nature of the information contained within this report and attachment satisfies 254J of local government, and therefore it is recommended that the meeting be closed to the public. So, colleagues, a motion to move into confidential, moved by Councillor O'Shea. Seconder, please. Councillor Melissa. All those in favour? It's passed without dissent. We will move into confidential. Colleagues, we're back online. We move to item 4, the renewal of tenure with an expiry date prior to 31st of December 2027. Colleagues, that motion is in 3 parts. Actually, I probably should read it out. 4 parts. We've added a 4th part. 1, that Council resolved an exception under Regulation 236 of the Local Government Act in relation disposal and interest in land of those identified in attachment 1 of the confidential report titled Renewal of Tenure, expiry date prior to 31st of December 2027. 2, that the appropriate delegates commence negotiations and sign relevant documents to secure tenure and other arrangements over council-owned or controlled property listed in attachment 1 of the confidential report titled Renewal of Tenure with an expiry date prior to 31st of December 2027 in accordance with Council's 2.10 proper tenure policy. Number 3, Council rescind its motion of the ordinary meeting of Council on 17th of January 2025, item number 12.2, lease over restaurant space at the Empire Theatre. And 4, that Council retain the head lease over the restaurant space at the Empire Theatre being part of the land at 56A Neil Street, Toowoomba, as described as part of Lot 27 on SP 160568. Mover, please, Mayor McDonald. Seconder, Councillor Carol Taylor. Colleagues, noting it was in confidential, is there any need to go into debate? In the absence of debate, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Motion is passed without dissent. Colleagues, thank you for your involvement in the December round of the Environment and Community Services Committee meeting. Have a very Merry Christmas, and we will conclude the meeting at 11:40 a.m. Thank you.
Right. Welcome to the Corporate Service Committee meeting, Toowoomba Regional Council. This meeting is open to the public and will be live streamed. I'd like to thank those of you who are in the room with us today, acknowledge everyone watching via Council social media channels. Opening of the meeting, I will. Is there any prescribed or declarable conflicts of interest? None. So, I'll hand over to Emma.
Thank you. Good morning, councillors. So the purpose of this report, it's a requirement of section 213 of the Local Government Regulation to present a copy of the Auditor General's observation report and a copy of the financial statements of council and the controlled entities when they have been signed off. So at the time of writing this report, Council's financial statements have been finalised and the management report, and they are presented. I'm happy to take any questions.
Mayor Jeffrey.
Thanks, Chair. This is more a procedural matter than anything else. We have gone through this process, so that being the case, I'm happy to move the motion.
Do I have a seconder? No. So,
Thank you, Chair. Thanks, General Manager Anne-Marie. Just with attachment 3, the Toowoomba Surat Basin Enterprise financial statements. I'm just wondering if you could advise when the TSB's final management report is expected, and are there any preliminary findings that Council should be aware of?
And thank you, Councillor, and thank you for providing the questions on notice. So, Queensland Audit Office are on site at the moment, and I had the opportunity to catch up with them this morning before attending the meeting, and the report is being finalised. And when that report has been finalised, it will come through the committee process. So at this stage, there's nothing further I can add in relation to the report.
Thank you. And just one other question, if I may, please, Chair. Are there any changes in TSB's financial sustainability or risk profile compared to previous years?
And thank you, Councillor. And you will note with the TSB financial statements, in particular the statement of financial position. So the financial position clearly indicates an operating surplus to accumulated surplus of 1.266. So a healthier position than the same time last year, but retaining earnings of over 1.2 million. So a healthy position for TSB.
do I have any more questions? No. I'll call for a seconder. Melissa, Councillor. I'll call for a vote. It's unanimous. Is that it? Then carried. In the meeting.
And we're on and red. Right. Welcome to the Economic Development Committee meeting of Toowoomba Regional Council. This meeting is open to the public and will also be live streamed. I'd like to thank those of you in the room with us today and acknowledge everyone watching via Council's social media channels. Councillors, please click join in board books. However, as we have nothing on the agenda to discuss, I would now like to conclude this meeting. Thank you. Less than Tim's elevator pitch.